So, Forest's top transfer target for this January has been revealed, and it's a striker. But before you get excited, wait till I tell you who it is. Welcome to your transfer news. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. Coming up, we're going to talk to you about a couple of strikers. We'll go through the reasons why this is going to be a viable option for Forest. And I'll give you my thoughts on what I think Forest should do. Not that they're going to listen. So make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you've subscribed. In the comments, let me know realistically what striker should Forest sign this transfer window. And don't forget to check out Patreon, where I've got a video dropping later, which is going to talk about some of the behind the scenes stuff at Forest, which is highly, highly interesting. So let's jump into this. And I'm sure you can tell by my tone, this really does excite me. Taremi is Forest's top target. Who? You're asking? If I told you he played for Inter, would that excite you guys anymore? He played 26 games for them and scored 1 goal. If I told you he was 23 years old plus 10, would that excite you? And if I told you he's currently at Olympiacos, would it surprise you? So this is Forest's solution to transfer targets. He's meant to come in here to reduce the burden on Jesus. But the thing is, I would say he's a similar striker, not as good as Jesus in terms of the way he likes to play. So it doesn't make sense to me. If we're going to sign another striker, it needs to be a different profile to Jesus. Now, I'm not saying they're the exact same profile, nor are they the exact same quality. But let me run you through some stats before we get into the whole article. And this one's in The Athletic, I believe. So he's played 11 games for Olympiacos and scored 8 goals. So he does know where the back of the net is. Some will say Farmers League. I say I love Olympiacos. At Inter, as I mentioned, he played 26 games and scored 1 goal. He was there with them for last season. Before that, he was at Porto, 122 games, 64 goals. And at Real Ave, obviously Marinakis' other club, where he played 30 games and scored 18 goals. And then quite a few kind of Middle Eastern teams and Iranian teams before that. He's also played for Iran over 100 times and scored 56 goals. So he is a natural goal scorer, if you like. But he's 33 years old. And at the moment, I think it's just desperation. I thought we brought Edu in to bring us talent, to bring us recruitment, to bring us organization, multi-club, and all this crap. And now we're relying on Marinakis checking what he's got, in the basement kind of thing. This is very, very worrying for me. But let's go through the article that was put out in The Athletic. So Mehdi Taremi is Forest's leading striker target. How does he compare to other options? Well, let's not forget we've had a few back and forths with Olympiacos. And that's how he starts the article. Transfers from Olympiacos to Forest have historically not always been a success, you don't say. Cafu was a cult figure hero in the promotion season. He was a good free kick taker as well, by the way. Then the 2 goals in his debut in 2017. Was that Brentford? Someone remind me in the chat. But there have been more misses than hits. Yeah. Abdoun. 1 Panenka against West Ham. Who's the other one? I'm not even trying to pronounce that one. Tach Sidi signed a 2-year deal in September 2018, and he was farmed out on loan by December without playing a minute for Forest. No, probably I don't remember you, mate. So there's been many skeptics from Forest fans about the club having Mehdi Taremi as their leading a shortlist of forwards to pursue this summer. And then it goes on to talk a bit about him. And obviously Larson. Larson's starting to look really good to me right now. I can't lie. But Wolves want a 40 million price tag for him. Strong imposing forward, the 25-year-old shares the same physiques and characteristics as Chris Wood. They're talking about Larson there. Yusuf El Nasiri, I think he's gone already, so that's old news. So he won't be coming. And the other one on the short list is Dovbika, Roma's 28-year-old. He looks like a young buck in comparison to Taremi. But it's Taremi who Forest are most keen on as they're looking to ease some of the pressure on Igor Jesus, who has started the last 7 games in all competition. Taiwo is the only senior backup after Callum Wilson went on loan to Frankfurt with a view of a permanent move. Taremi is a very versatile, experienced striker who joined the Greek side Olympiacos from Inter last summer, having helped the Italian club reach last season's Champions League final. I don't know how much I'd put on that, but anyway. He has more than 100 appearances for Iran and a proven goal scorer, as I've mentioned to you with the stats. And he averaged better than a goal every 2 games for Rayo Ave and then Porto. So it goes on to profile him a bit here. Taremi is more of a roaming, creative number 9 than the other options, dropping deep and drifting out wide to help progress the play. That's exactly what Jesus does. Like, how does... Compare his off-ball runs to the other candidates and we can see a much more varied profile. Really? So that's all well and good comparing him to the other candidates, but needs to be different to what we've got currently in the squad. Anyway, there's a comparison chart there for you geeks. I'll let you guys pause if you want to see that one. And it goes on to say about his goal scoring. He's 6'2", physical presence, but he's a player who relies more on his intelligence. He has a high football IQ that is smart with the spaces he plays in, and is quite astute with how he can distribute the ball. Says Eri Bulabusis, the Tyro 7. Big up to them, big up to them. He's an excellent finisher and tactically astute, but the Premier League, you have to have physical attributes to back it up. And that's the one question mark due to his age. But he has played as a 10 in behind the striker and did not look bad at all. He is versatile. The majority of Olympiacos fans like him. There will be fury if he's allowed to leave. Given that Olympiacos and Forest, along with Rayo Ave, are part of the Marinakis football empire, a deal to sign him could be relatively straightforward, barring any upset of the fans in Greece. Then he goes on to Strand Larsen. Look, this is getting worrying. This is getting worrying. We don't need... My problem isn't that it's coming from Olympiacos, and we've had the back and forths with Olympiacos with players over the years. My problem is the profile is too similar to Igor Jesus. He's not going to be the kind of player that's going to run in behind the defense, goal hang in the box or anything like that. And that for me just stinks of Forest in desperation mode right now with no real clue on what to do. And if you're going to annoy the Olympiacos fans, and we'll chat to the boys over on that podcast as well. We've got a good relationship with them and get their thoughts on it when it happens. I just think right now we need players that have played in the Premier League. And this is why, and here's my suggestion. I'm just putting it out there and shoot me down if you want. Callum Wilson. If you're going to go for a 33-year-old, you might as well go for one who bags in the Premier League. I mean, he's already scored against us this season. He scored against us, if I'm not mistaken, in our first game back in the Premier League. And he's free. He's completely free. Like, I would just give him a 6-month contract. I would bring him in and he becomes an alternative option to Igor Jesus. He left West Ham because he was annoyed on his pay-as-you-go contract. I don't think he was getting paid anything for the lack of game times that Nuno was doing. So Forest just offered him a 6-month contract. You could probably get him for 30k a week. And do not then extend it afterwards. Let's get out of this mess. Don't spend any money on Dyche because clearly him and Edu are not attracting any players. Get rid of Dyche in the summer. Get rid of Edu as well. Press the big fat red reset button and then start again. And that's what we need to do. So for a short-term fix, my solution is Callum Wilson over the Iranian. It sounds simple enough to me. Get it done, Forest. Like, that stops you from pissing off the Olympiacos fans. That gives us a striker who knows how to play in the Premier League, who will play in the box, who is physical, who will score goals. Does this not make sense to you guys more so than the other one? I'm really worried about the direction we're going. And as I said when Dyche was hired, this was another thing I was worried about. What players is he going to attract? That's a big issue. That's a huge issue right now. And Edu isn't doing his things because this transfer window, is looking horrific right now. So get your thoughts in on all of that. Don't forget, if you want to support us further on Patreon, you can. There'll be a video out later on today. And get your thoughts in on the strikers. And would you do what I've suggested and get Callum Wilson? Or are you in the Rob camp and you want Larsson, and Larsson is your favourite striker of all time? Let me know. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Reds.